Boom. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy, Nolan Hawkeye Anthony here. And I hope you guys are having as good a Saturday afternoon as one can have when your favorite team, the Iowa Hawkeyes, is having as abysmal a first half as they have had. It has been ugly. I don't know what else to call it. It's been disgusting to watch. I had it's been bad. And I really don't understand. Purdue is not a good football team. They're not. Even Purdue fans will tell you they're not a good team. They're not. And I don't know if it's if I had to guess what it is that Purdue is for the under Jeff Brom. Well, there's two things. Number one, the type of team Purdue is, they like to stretch the field, but so does Penn State and so does other teams. So that's definitely part of it. Is Purdue likes to stretch the field and just kind of keep you off balance. Give me 1 second. So that's definitely part of it. The other part of it, and this is what I think it is that Purdue for the past 5 years has been somewhere in between mediocre and good or okay. All right. So, if we use the metric good, solid, great, excellent, or elite, Purdue is somewhere in between average and good. Well, let's just go with that. And because they are in between good and average, or average and good, it really, my guess is that Iowa does not prepare for Purdue like it does against Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and teams like that, despite the fact that Purdue has beaten them, 4 of the last 5 years or 3 of the past 4 years. Iowa should have been ready for this game. And now for this game specifically, yes, Purdue had the bye week. Okay. They had the bye week. David Bell is well over 100 yards receiving already. Is it so? My main guess is what I just said, okay, is that Purdue for the past 5 years is in between average and good, okay? The other part is, but that's no excuse. Iowa has lost to Purdue multiple times over the past 5 years, especially with the main people that are main contributors on this Iowa Hawkeye team. They should have been prepared. Now, Purdue came out and did good things, but so did Iowa. But they came up short. They missed the field goal. The game should easily be 14-10 right now. And they had some missed tackles. Matt Hankins missing a tackle. Tyrone Tracy dropping balls left and right. Iowa has marched down the field 3 times, 60-plus yards, okay? The Iowa offense, right here, Tyler Goodson has 64 yards rushing, okay? Ivory Kelly Martin has 23. Look at that. David Bell with 101 yards. And I don't know what it is, but Iowa corners, the only exception that I can think of is when Desmond King went up against the Pittsburgh wide receiver. I'm going to see if I can pull him up real quick. Let me see if I can pull him up. Pittsburgh, let's go 2015. Iowa versus Pitt. Let's do that. This is the only exception I can think of because Iowa tends to play a team defense. They don't like to leave their guys on an island. And when they play against an elite wide receiver, okay, not average wide receivers like what Iowa has with Tyrone Tracy, Nico Reganey, and the rest of them, but Tyler Boyd had 131 yards. But so that is the only game that I can think of where the Iowa corners or corner in Desmond King did an excellent job against an elite wide receiver. And even then, this guy went off. And if you really think about it, anytime Iowa has played against an elite wide receiver, okay, let's think about it. When they played Purdue, when Purdue had what's his name? What was the smaller wide receiver's name? Iowa versus Purdue 2016. Let's do 2016. Let's see if he was on the team. Well, Iowa won that game. Let's see here. Cole Herdman in 2016 had 104 yards. Let's go 2017. Okay. Let's go 2017. But I want you guys to start thinking of elite wide receivers that Iowa has gone up against and how they've done. It's not good. They don't do good. In 2017, Anthony Mahangau had 135 yards receiving. Let's go 2018. Let's go 2018. Let's go 2018. Where Iowa lost again. Rondell Moore, he only had, and that's who I was thinking of, Rondell Moore. But Terry Wright had 146 yards receiving. So 2017, Purdue had an 100 yards receiver. 2016, 100 yard receiver. 2017, 100 yard receiver. 2018, 1,000-yard receiver. Let's go 2019 for shites and gigs. Let's see if Purdue had another. Oh, look at that. 197 yards. 197 yards. Let's go 2020 for even more shites and gigs. Man, I am so annoyed. Oh, look at that. 121 yards. Since 2016, Purdue has had a receiver have 100+ yards receiving. I don't get it. How many times does Phil Parker and this Iowa defense need to how much more evidence do they need to just say, you know what, no matter what, we are not going to allow Purdue's wide receiver, any Purdue wide receiver, to have over 100 yards, especially their top wide receiver. What a bunch of nonsense. Honestly, guys, the score should be 21-7 right now. The score should be 21-7. And yes, the offense has looked anemic. The bottom line is, guys, that Iowa's offense, anytime there's two plays in a row where Iowa's offense has a negative play or no yardage at all, the play will just cease to exist. The whole possession will cease to exist. Okay. But if we're also being honest, you know, the offense marched up and down the field. Let's look at some of the team stats here. Third down efficiency, Iowa's 5 for 8. They have 11 first downs. Purdue has 11 first downs. Purdue is also 5 for 7 on third downs. Total yards, 233 to 185. Not terrible. I mean, let's be honest. It's the Iowa defense that, if you had to guess, would give up what they're giving up. It wouldn't be 233 yards. Right now, Purdue is on pace to have 466 yards of total offense. If Iowa does not shut this down defensively, this game is over. Iowa's offense is not ready to play from behind. The bottom line is Iowa needs to find a way to win this game at all costs before the bye week. They cannot lose this game. They cannot lose this game. Man, I'm getting a little worried. And it's not because Purdue is good. It's not. I don't think Purdue's good. Okay. I think Purdue is maybe the second or third best team in the West, but that's because the West sucks. Okay. The only good team in the West is Iowa. Man, this was easily one of the most important games. Matter of fact, when I put up the 5 most important games on Iowa's schedule, Purdue was one of them because it's a Big Ten West game. It's one of those games where Purdue is about 500. You overlook them, but you also don't overlook them. You're kind of in this abyss where, you don't prepare for them like you prepare for Penn State, but you also don't prepare for them like they're Nebraska, where they suck. Okay. Oh man, I am so frustrated. I will admit that the interception Spencer Petras threw was terrible. I've been saying this, guys. The anger that you guys have for Spencer Petras, it's not really accurate because he's won 12 games as an Iowa starter. And you could say, well, Spencer Petras is not the entire Iowa team. Exactly. So if they lose, it's not entirely his fault either. Okay. What you do is you give blame where it's deserved and you give credit where it's deserved. For me, in this game specifically, the Iowa rush game looks okay. They look much better than they look in other games. It's the receiving group dropping balls, just dropping balls left and right. Twice I counted where the Purdue wide receiver, actually 3 times, where the Purdue wide receivers literally bailed out the Purdue quarterback by making some back shoulder throw or back shoulder catch or some catch and run that, quite frankly, the Iowa wide receivers would drop because they can't even catch a pass where Spencer Petras is rolling out and throws it in between the numbers, and it's right here for them to catch, and they drop it. And yes, Tyrone Tracy, I'm looking at you, dude. Gosh, man, I'm on a good note. I'm gonna go to your guys' messages here right now. Okay. By the way, share this out. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're on a mission to get to 1,000. We're at 700. I showed you guys this before. I'll show you guys this again real quick. I want to show you guys this just so you guys know. And it doesn't really bother me because it is what it is. But I want to show you guys something here. Okay. I want to show you guys something. So there you guys see the 702 subs. I will get to your guys' comments. So stay on the chat. I will get to your guys' comments. I promise. I want to show you guys something though. Okay. Right here. All right, here it comes. If my computer will ever load. Look at this. Look at this. By the way, I will say thank you guys for helping making the past 4 videos I've done the most watched Iowa videos in the past 4 weeks. That is because of you guys, not because of me. I'm not uber talented at this. I'm okay, but I'm not the end all be all. It's because of you guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Here we go. So 7.5% of the viewers are age 18 to 24. 16.9% are 25 to 34. 17.5% are 35 to 44. 17.2% are 45 to 54. And 18.3% are 55 to 64. So in all honesty, it's a pretty good, this channel reaches a good wide variety of people, in all honesty. But here we go. I got to show you guys this. Okay. 14.6% of you guys are subscribed, while 85.5% of you guys are not subscribed. If the channel had 25% of you guys that watch watch the content I put out, if you guys were subscribed, this channel would have like 2,000 subscribers. So just want to kind of show you guys that. All right, let's read you guys' comments. All right, here we go. Michael Morin, it's never easy. It's not. It should be, but it's not. Chris Wilson, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. This game made me nervous, and now we are forced to play from behind. I'm not confident in Iowa's offense, and Purdue is picking the D apart. I agree. I would say, though, that we saw last week against a much better Penn State team that Iowa can play from behind. Hair trigger 83, still plenty of time. Agreed. I agree with that. I was texting with my dad, he was born and raised in Fort Dodge, Iowa. If any of y'all are from Fort Dodge, Iowa, let me know. But and I had to say the same thing. There's still plenty of time left. Chris Wilson, why take the knee? Why not throw a Hail Mary? Excellent question. You know why? Because, I heard Clay Travis say this once. He said that most coaches are, if they weren't coaching football, they would be gym teachers. And that is to say that they aren't particularly intelligent individuals. They know football, but they aren't necessarily intelligent individuals. Okay. They're not dumb, but they're not overly intelligent. And the reality is, why don't you throw the Hail Mary? You never know what could happen. By the same token that I guarantee that Kirk Ferentz was on the headset and Kirk Ferentz was like, well, what is it? A 1% chance that we complete it? And on the same token, somebody goes, well, it's also a 1% chance that it gets intercepted and it gets ran back for a touchdown. Exactly. It's a 1% chance that something negative happens. It's the same thing when you run. I mean, how much worse is it to run a normal handoff play versus throwing a Hail Mary? How much worse? I mean, it's probably the same statistical equivalent for the possibility of something negative happening. So throw the Hail Mary. Throw it. Now, maybe Spencer Petras didn't have the arm. I don't know. But let's just assume Spencer Petras has the arm, since Iowa does take strong, big-armed quarterbacks. Throw the Hail Mary at the end of the half. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Chris Wilson, why take the knee? Oh, I already read that. Jason Tetrick, Tyler Boyd. Thanks. Yeah, I found that, but thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. Chris Wilson, if Purdue comes out and puts up another TD to start the second half, I don't see Iowa coming away with this win today. I got to say, Chris, I agree. Iowa, this is probably the most important possession of the game, is when Iowa comes back in the second half. That is probably going to I wouldn't say it will determine the game, but it's a big deal. Hair trigger 83, the O-line is just not good outside of Linderbaum. Well, I disagree with that. In the Pro Football Focus grades that I've showed you guys for the past 4 weeks, the interior of the Iowa offensive line is all graded as top 25 players at their respective positions. Connor Colby is top 5 in the country as a guard, and Justin Britt is top 10 in the country as a guard. Tyler Linderbaum is number 1. The issue on the Iowa offensive line is the tackles. And it's not really surprising, considering Tristan Wirfs, Alaric Jackson, and Mark Kellenberger are now all gone. when they were the primary guys that played tackle position for Iowa. You know, when Mark Kellenberger decided to retire, that was really shocking because he would have been a starting tackle for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And there's a good chance he would have been developed enough to go and play in the NFL. But as I tell you guys all the time, the thing that separates people at the Division I level usually is how much they love the sport, because the physical talent is there. I remember playing water polo in college. The difference between the guys that played and the guys that didn't wasn't necessarily talent. It was how much they loved the sport. And Kellenberger just didn't really love football. He liked it, but he didn't love it. He wasn't obsessed with it. Chris Wilson, let's see here. Chris Wilson, Brian Ferentz is not a good offensive coach. Our play calling is too predictable. I think they will lose today, and that could set Iowa up to split their games down the stretch. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not going to make any definitive answers. I'm not going to say Brian Ferentz is a great offensive coordinator, but he is probably the best offensive coordinator under Kirk Ferentz if you look at it statistically. Joseph Walters, we are a second half team for sure, but I don't know. It looks bad right now. Everything will come crashing down if we lose this game. I agree with that. Well, here's the good news. Iowa has a bye week. If they lose, just like if they win, they will figure out how to fix things during the bye week. Okay. So that's the good news. But I got to say, guys, if they lose this game, it will not be good. I will be so pissed. I was getting so frustrated that one of the girls that I met last week, she asked if we could hang out. I said, sure. And she's at my house, and I literally told her she had to go because I was getting so frustrated with this Iowa team. There's no reason that they should be losing to Purdue. There's no reason. Purdue blows. Anyways. Hi, Hawkeye. Purdue went all out with their playbook in the first half. Hopefully. Spencer Eidsmo. Brian Ferentz eats water with his cereal. He probably does, actually. But he is kind of a big guy. So I don't know. I don't know. He might have chocolate milk. Hair trigger. We were down 14-7 to Colorado State, 17-10 to Penn State. So there's hope. Thank you. That's an excellent point. Iowa has played from behind before, so there is hope. That's an excellent point. We need a flea flicker in the second half to spark things up. Our offense is missionary style. Missionary style is all good. It's probably the best style, in my opinion. You know, you just get it done. You just get it done. Purdue from hair trigger. Purdue would be first in the West if they win. No, they would not. I don't think. Here, let's look. You know what? Let's look at this. Let's look at the standings real quick. Big Ten football standings. Because I'm pretty sure that Iowa has a 2-game lead on the entire Big Ten West. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. No, Purdue is 1-1. So if they beat Iowa, they would improve to 2-1, and Iowa would be 3-1. And so Iowa would have a half-game lead over Purdue. So no, they would not be first. Chris Wilson, when you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Could not agree more. I remember my college coach used to always scream that at 4 a.m. when we were lifting. When you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And we'd be like, all right, dude. Anyways, all right, guys, we'll see what happens. Iowa, listen, this is a big second half. Iowa, bottom line, Iowa needs to get to their bye week and get some of these kinks ironed out, and they need to win this game because an elite team, a Final Four team finds a way to win this game. That's a Big Ten West champion team finds a way to win this game at home. They find a way to get it done. It's only a 7-point lead. But I will say, Purdue having the football, Iowa needs to get a stop bad, very bad. I think it should be okay. I still have confidence Iowa will win this game. So we shall see. All right, guys, be sure to come here after the game. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. As you guys can see here, 85.5% of you guys who watch the videos are not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button. I will be here post-game to hang out with all of you and have a good time. All right, y'all. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts or feelings, your feelings don't matter. Love y'all. Go Hawks. Bye.